Hi, everybody. As the landscape has been changing with all the coronavirus closures and postponements, we thought you might need some help with the technology tools that you can use in your court to get through this time safely and efficiently. First, a big part of this is video conferencing. As you know from the orders that have come out over the last few days from the Court of Criminal Appeals and the Supreme Court of Texas, many proceedings are going to need to move to video conferencing if they're held at all. So there's so many different ways you can conduct two-way video hearings that will work for your purposes and even meetings. For example, us at the training center have all been working remotely, but we've been able every day to get online and have a group meeting and keep track of everything everyone's doing by using some of these different resources. And there's also some court-specific vendors out there who have software that they've tested in court settings already, and some of them might be vendors that you work with for other things. So those are things to look into. The easiest thing to do, obviously, is talk to your county if you have an IT department or someone who handles those sorts of things. And also the vendors that you already have to see if something that they use will work well with one of these things that we talk about today, or if they already have a product that you're paying for, you can just use that. Many companies are also waiving fees to allow people access to their software for this limited amount of time where people aren't supposed to be out and about, just so that people can conduct business safely and remotely. So that's another good thing to look into. What are you going to need? Here is the big question everyone's worried about. And the good thing is, I would say 95% of these softwares out there work with lots of different devices. So each person who's by themselves in a different location is going to need one of the following things. They're going to need either a desktop computer, a laptop, a tablet like an iPad or Android tablet, or some sort of smartphone with a camera and a microphone that we now know comes standard on pretty much every device. Those of you who only have desktop computers and don't have a camera attached may have a little bit of an issue. You may need to either get a camera or use some other device that other people in your office use, and that might need to be shifted around a little bit to make this work properly. But most people have at least one of these items or access to it. We do note that this could come into a problem for some self-represented people who maybe don't have one of these things. And in that case, hopefully it's a non-essential proceeding that you can just postpone. And if they're unavailable to use the technology and you don't think that it can be held safely at your court, which in a lot of cases we believe it can't because it may spread the virus, then what you're going to want to do is postpone that if you're able to, if it's not essential. Here are some of the, I would say, the most common things that I've heard us use at our work, and also friends who are working at different jobs. Most of their companies use one of these things, mostly because they work with software that they already have and already use. So these are some that we've tested out also this week, some of them, to see if we can figure them out, because that might mean that everyone else can too. So the first one is Zoom, and we have a Zoom membership through Texas State University because we work under them. So we have this contract for free with access to a lot of their features. They also have a free version. WebEx is a Cisco product. So if you use Cisco products already in your county or court, you may have access to WebEx, or might be easy to get access. Microsoft Teams, I would say pretty much everyone who has a more than standard version of Microsoft, where they have access to Word and PowerPoint like I'm using today. If they have the business or government versions, a lot of you are going to have Microsoft Teams that you can use to video chat in, and that might be helpful, especially for just within your office if you have people working remotely and you want to check in with each other, get some interpersonal contact without being at risk of passing any virus back and forth. That's a great way to do it. And then in Google, I know some counties use Google as their email platform, so they have what's called G Suite, and it has this feature called Hangouts Meet, and it's also very similar and can be used. It also right now is free for people because of what's going on. So let's get in a little bit more detail and talk about these a little bit more. Zoom, like I said, they have a free version. It's two-way audio and video, so everyone involved can talk and hear. You can share the link with a lot of participants. So if you have a hearing with several different parties and maybe an attorney and you, then you can share the link with several people. You could also make the link available to make this a public hearing. So if people wanted to come in and just listen, like they could come into your courtroom, that's great for that because a lot of participants could come in. Kind of as you'll see all of these go, the free version has a limited number of participants. Here it's 100, and then as you go forward and pay more participants can join. And like I said earlier, some of these companies are also expanding those free versions, at least for the time being, so that people can get their work done efficiently. Zoom works great with Microsoft 365, so all the Microsoft products, Outlook for email, and Gmail. So you're able to schedule meetings right in your email, which is really helpful. And you also have the ability to record a meeting or hearing, which could be good if these are things you need to do to keep track of them. You can record them if that's a requirement for you to keep recordings of hearings. So I have here a little link right down here in the bottom left-hand corner, and that's going to take you to the resources page on the Zoom website, which has a lot of short videos explaining how to do the different functions. Here we have this video that's just a basic scheduling a meeting, so you have some idea what it looks like.
Scheduling a meeting on the Zoom website is a quick and easy process. After logging in, select My Meetings and then Schedule a Meeting. From here, you can select the topic for the meeting. If you'd like to use this meeting repeatedly, select Recurring Meeting. Otherwise, select the date, time, and duration for your meeting. You'll have various options, such as turning on the host video by default, turning on participant video by default, and audio options. You can also enable a password for the meeting, allow others to connect before you as the host start the meeting, mute others upon entry, or use your personal meeting ID. After selecting Schedule, you'll be able to invite others by Google Calendar, Outlook Calendar, or Yahoo Calendar. You could also copy the invitation, which will allow you to copy and paste the invitation to others manually.
So there we have it, short, sweet, and to the point. Something else that I noticed while we were watching that video is something I forgot to mention. This also has the capability if you don't have a microphone-enabled device like a computer or laptop, but you have a phone, you can also do call-in, where sometimes the video and the call can be separate, or a party could call in, which may be okay for some hearings. Oh, here we go. To our next slide, and this software is called WebEx, and this, like I said, is a Cisco product. So you'll see their little logo in the corner of that video. They also have a free version on their website. Again, two-way audio video. You can share the link with a lot of participants, 100 in the free version, more as you pay more for a subscription. It also is the same. It works with Microsoft, Outlook, and Gmail, and some other programs. And you have the ability to record that meeting or hearing. Here I've linked down in the corner to a YouTube channel, playlist, where they have a bunch of different videos that Cisco has put out, the company that runs this software and owns it. They've put out a bunch of little how-to videos, and that's where this one comes from.
Hey, let me show you how to join a Cisco WebEx meeting. When it's time to join a WebEx meeting, click the button or link in the meeting invite. If this is your first time joining a WebEx meeting, you may be prompted to install the Cisco WebEx Meetings desktop app. Click the installation file. If prompted, enter your name and email address, and then click Next. Before you join the meeting, you see a preview window where you're asked to connect your audio and video so everyone will be able to see and hear you. Depending on the meeting type, you can choose different ways to connect audio and video. Select the audio connection type that you want to use. We recommend use computer for audio as the quickest option. Click Settings to select the speaker, microphone, and camera that you want to use. If your computer has a camera, check your appearance in the video preview before you join. If you don't want to use your camera, click Turn off my video. You can also click the mute button to mute yourself. When you're all set, click the Join button to connect to the meeting. Once you're in the meeting, hover over the meeting controls at the bottom of the screen to see everything that you can do. You can mute your audio, start and stop your video, and share your screen or other content. Open the Participants panel to see a list of all the people in the meeting, and open the Chat panel to send messages to other meeting participants. Click the More Options button to see more meeting controls, such as your audio connection and speaker, microphone, and camera settings. When it's time to leave, click the Leave Meeting button. Give it a try.
So here you have again just how simple it is to use this product. This is great because you could share that very same video with the parties in your court. And so then they could watch that. They would feel a little bit less scared maybe or intimidated by doing it. And this is a little bit different step of the process. This was more how you join once there's an invitation made, while the first video was how to create an invitation. And I'll tell you, I've looked at both softwares, and this one you create an invitation to the meeting or schedule a meeting in much the same way as the last one. You'll notice that as we go through, they're all very similar and use things like icons of a little camera or a little microphone to make it super foolproof. So that's one way to do that there. And now we have Microsoft Teams. Like I said, Microsoft Teams is great because many of you probably already have it and you didn't even know it. And so if you have a Microsoft subscription with your county or even just your office, you may have this included already. So that's definitely something to check with because you get more participants that way and maybe some more features. So it also is two-way audio video. Their free version, I think, is up to 250 participants. So that's pretty good. Most of you probably couldn't have 250 people in your courtrooms from the courts that I've seen. So that would be good to keep it open. You could send people that link or publish that link somewhere. And it connects to other Microsoft products like Outlook, so you can schedule meetings just in your email if you use Outlook. And it's very simple that way. Again, in the corner, I've linked to their YouTube channel where they have lots of short videos and some long videos on how this product works. Let's watch this one.
Ever feel the need to turn a team conversation into a quick meeting? You can do that with Meet Now. Use Meet Now to have an instant meeting in the Conversations tab in the channel. There are two ways to start the meeting. Either go to where you type messages at the very bottom and click Meet Now, video camera, under the box. Or, to keep the context of a specific conversation, first click Reply, then Meet Now, under where you would type your reply. Scroll down a bit to see a full video preview. There you go. Below the Meet Now button, there are options for you to set up the camera and schedule the meeting. Give the meeting a name, and then click Meet Now. Once you're in the meeting, invite people by selecting from the suggestions. Or just type a name in the box.
You can also invite someone from outside your organization to the meeting, even if they're not using Teams. Just type the number in the box, or copy the join info and send it to them via email. Once they arrive in the virtual lobby as a guest, you can bring them in from there. When you need to record your meeting so everyone can watch it later, click More Options, then Start Recording. You'll get an email telling you when your video is uploaded to Microsoft Stream and ready for you to view, edit, publish, or download. To share some content from your computer, click Share in the center of your screen, and then click the screen you want to show. While you're sharing, you can give someone else in the meeting control of your screen by picking their name from the bar at the top. With Meet Now, it's simple to meet with anyone in Teams.
So you can see there in that last part of the video, even if you were having a short hearing and someone wanted to share a piece of evidence with you, they could do so by sharing their screen, other than just holding it up in front of their camera. But that's something else that they could potentially do if you have to have a certain kind of hearing and you need that type of evidence. So that can be really helpful. Let's see what the next one is. So this is the Google Suite Hangouts Meet. Now, I talked about earlier, and on their website, that first link is there's an upgraded free version that they're right now going to keep available for any person who has G Suite until July 1st, 2020. And so, again, each company has their own sort of guidelines for each type of subscription that they allow, and that's going to change, your capabilities in the system. So most of these we're looking at the free version or the most basic paid version in these videos. But then the more and more you go up in money, the more and more you're going to have more participants available. You're going to have certain features that might not be available in the free version. So you can click there if you want to read that. That's part of their response to coronavirus. This one also, again, like all the others we talked about, has two-way audio video, up to 250 participants. It connects well with other Google products and also Microsoft products, and it gives you the ability to record a meeting. Again, down there in the left-hand corner is a link to their YouTube channel where you can find all of their videos about how to do different things that we won't discuss today. Here we go. So that was a super quick video. They didn't even talk, but obviously there are a lot more in detail videos that you can use if this is the software that you decide to use, either for those in-office meetings or for meetings with the public, hearings, that sort of thing. So there's a whole lot of different videos on there that go into more detail. I just wanted a quick one to show you that it's pretty simple and also very similar to all the other products that we talked about. So it's really easy to figure out. Now, I went through and searched for all kinds of conference and meeting software that I could find, and you'll see here I have a list of a ton more, and this was only the tip of the iceberg. There are so many different softwares out there that can be used similarly to these, or better or worse versions. And so I put them up here as just a bunch of different ones, but honestly, if you just go to your web browser and type in conferencing software, you're going to find so much different stuff. And so that's why I said earlier, it's really good to talk to whoever handles technology in your county, because they may already have a subscription somewhere that someone else in your county is using. Whatever you use for video magistration might also allow for other things. So please check there. And so you can do that way. These are just some of the ones that I saw, but there's many more. And obviously, if your county already has a subscription, that's what you want to do. Like I said, too many to count. Work with those other people in your county to pick the right thing for you. Another thing that I didn't mention yet, but should have, is that you may want to contact your other vendors who know what works best with the software and hardware that you already have. So if you have a company that handles all of your technology needs, as far as if a computer breaks, fixing it, if a phone breaks, fixing it, that sort of thing, they might know what software will work good for you. And also, maybe if you have a company like Tyler Technologies, who works on your Odyssey system or some other case management system, they may have something that will integrate with your case management system, which might make things even easier. So those are all things to do. Like I said, here at the training center, we've been testing out multiple different programs to see which works best for our purposes and working remotely. Some of the ones that we just talked about, we've actually used just today and yesterday. Now, like I said, there are court-specific technology resources available. I've pulled a few that are related to e-hearings and that sort of thing. So CourtCall is a big one, the first one that came up when I looked. It's a court-specific service. Several states use it. Texas already has some customers. You may be able to get a discounted membership because of that. So that's something to look at on their website. And they did put a note on their website that due to what's going on right now in the country, it might take a little longer for them to get in person to you to do setup and training because they have a really high need. A lot of people are swapping over right now. So that's something to take into consideration. But they also have a lot of educational videos on their website. And so getting up and running may be possible without someone physically present there. So I'm sure they're working remotely as well. So they're probably trying to get everyone up to speed as fast as they can, but they did know that there could be a delay. So as you can see there, they're specific to the criminal justice system. They already understand how courts work and how jails work, so they could be a good option for you. And they have lots of information at their website, including those Texas contracts that already exist. So that might help you out in getting a contract with them. And another thing that they pointed out is they're kind of an all-in-one shop. So that might be something you want to consider. Another thing that we've already talked about on our website that you might have already seen is video magistrate. So this is something that some courts are already using to conduct their video magistration. It is a court-specific service. NetProtec is the vendor who supplies this product here in Texas. And here's the contact information as well if you want to get a hold of them. You can send inquiries to this web address, email address, or 800 number. And also there's their website where they have more contact information available. I'm gonna go ahead and pause that there. So this video is really hard to see because the text is so small, but you can always go and make this bigger on your computer at home or at work at those links that I provided on the left. And those will all take you to where these videos are, and you can make it bigger and watch it again. So you can always do that if this is some service you're interested in. As you can see on here, even if you couldn't read exactly the writing on there because it's so small, the capability in this software is really complex and also very specific to courts. So you could see in there where they could even sign the magistration paperwork electronically, assuming that you have either a keypad or something that they could sign the name on. But that could be really useful because then there needs to be no hand-to-hand interaction for this. So the person can be put in a room, they can do all this stuff online, and then you're not exposed or your staff. So this could be really great. And also, even if these things aren't things that you're looking into right now because it's sort of an emergency situation and we're trying to figure out these things very quickly, one of the free softwares might be right for you today, so you can get started, and then maybe in the next weeks or months, or even for planning for future situations, or just if you want to do video magistration full time, if you like it a lot after you do it during this time, you could use this software later, and you could always get a contract with them this summer, next year, whenever. Hardware for video conferencing. So most courts have computers that will work with all these softwares that we've talked about for basic video conferencing. Like I said, you don't have to have super fancy computers and tablets for this. Most tablets come with what you need already on them. There's also companies who work specifically with courts and businesses to set up rooms in the right way, where microphones work really well, and all the different type of technology that you might need for this. So on the IJIS Institute, on their website, you can find a list of providers at that link there that are companies specific to courts and businesses and setting up your conferencing needs. What about paper filings? We've also heard a lot of concerns about paper filings, not wanting to touch them after people have handled them, not knowing what germs or virus are on them. There's something that may be helpful to you. First off, eFile. eFile Texas is up and running and is available to the courts. So using that is a great way to not have to take paper copies. Maybe you have a computer in your lobby or something like that people could use. There's also these scanner apps on smartphones that can be a great way for a party to take a picture of a document with their phone, send it to the court in a format where the court can accept it. They're really easy to find. Again, this is just like the conference software. There's so many, I can't even name them all. But a good way to find them is to just search scanner to PDF or scanner to document in either or whichever. Sorry, I added both those in there. I'll fix that before I post these. App store that you have on your smartphone, depending on if you have an iPhone or an Android or something else. Here are some examples. This video here is the first one. It's called Genius Scan, one that a couple people in our office were already using for their own personal needs. And there are things called Mobile Doc Scanner, Handy Scanner, Cam Scanner, TurboScan. Adobe has one. Evernote, a Microsoft program, has it. Microsoft Office Lens, this is for Android phones. One called Abby File Scanner that had great reviews, and so many more.
Welcome to Monday Productivity Pointers. My name is Jess Stratton. This week I'm showing you a really useful app for your iPhone. It's called Genius Scan, and it's a little pocket scanner. So gone are the days when you need a big scanner. It's also a printer or a fax located on your desk, taking up tons of space. Now you can do it all right from your iPhone. So I've got Genius Scan open here. It's the big orange icon, so I'm going to tap that to get into it. And the first thing I'm going to do to start scanning is tap the camera icon right on the bottom left. Now, I've got my receipts all ready to go. So this app right away, I can tell you, is fantastic for business travel because you could just take each receipt and scan them and end up with everything ready to go, nicely packaged, ready to be sent. So here's a receipt. I just have it on the desk. I've got the camera active. I'm going to tap that button right in the middle, and instantly I get a scan. Now this is the cool thing. Genius Scan knows the boundaries of what I'm scanning. It's looking for documents. It tries to get it right, and if it doesn't, I can just take my fingers and tap it and slide it around until it lines up and I can get everything that I want. When it's all lined up and ready to go and it looks pretty, I can simply tap Use or retake if I want to do it again. So here's my scan, and you can see it already enhances it so it can look great and can be clear and easy to read. I'm going to grab one more. I'll do that by tapping the Save button, because the first thing I want to do is start a new document. Let's suppose I have multiple receipts for one particular business trip, and I want them to stay together. So I'm going to save it to a new document. Here's my document. Now I'll give it a title later, but for now, I'm going to tap the plus button because I want to add another receipt. I'll take my receipt. When it lines up, it looks pretty. I'll take the picture, and as you can see, it picked the boundaries again. I'm happy with this, so I'll just tap Use. It enhances it, and I'm going to tap Save. Now here's where it asks me if I want to save to the current document, an existing document, because I could have several projects that I'm working on all at once. And remember, if I'm scanning something, it doesn't have to be just for receipts. I can be scanning paperwork, say for a large medical billing transaction that I'm doing, where you could have several types of bills coming from various medical hospitals, right? This would be perfect for that. So in this case, I'll save it to the current document. Here's my document right now. It's got 2 receipts in it. It's nice and tidy. So let's give this a title. I'm going to tap in the title field, and here's where I can tap again in the title, tap the X to blank it out and create a new title. I'll call this one Business Trip December. Tap done, tap done again, and here's my document. If I tap the back button, I can see a list of all my documents. So here's my Business Trip December, and it's telling me that I have 2 scans in there. So Genius Scan is a fantastic app for not only scanning documents, but for also scanning groups of documents. So you can juggle all sorts of things. You can handle expenses for multiple trips, multiple projects, anything going on in your personal life. This is the app that can handle all types of scans. Up next, I'm going to show you how you can actually send this off to somebody.
Okay, so there we have it. That's Genius Scan. And I can see from using some of the others, they're pretty much the same. So what are some other tips and tricks we have just to be thinking about during this time? First, YouTube has a ton of short how-to videos for all kinds of different programs and software. So if there's something that we didn't talk about today, or you want to know more about specific features, that's a great place to look. Just search for a demonstration video on there by searching by the title of what kind of program you have, and then follow that with what action you want to do. And you'll usually get a bunch of good results. And you can look at specific features that you want to use in whichever program you're using, even the software that you currently are running in your courts. LinkedIn Learning is also great. It is a paid subscription usually, but they have many videos that can help with how to use specific programs or software, from anything like that to even just how to handle stress during this time. It's been very stressful trying to quickly switch over the way things work. And so that's a great place to look for those kind of learnings too. And you can do that through a LinkedIn Learning membership. They also have a free trial right now. And again, maybe some of you have these through your county or through other agencies, and that you can get this stuff for free. So we have it through Texas State University, for example. So you may have other access to it without even knowing. So you may want to check that out and see if you have some other membership that'll give you access. And you can look at that there. You can also look at their YouTube channel where they have some free videos as well as some that are just for the subscribed users. So what do you do next now? First, let the public know whatever you decide. It's really important that you keep the public up to date on what procedures and what software you're going to be using. The best place to do this is your website. So on your website, you should have a response to what's going on and add these things to it. If you're going to use Zoom for some hearings that you have to hold, then put up there some of these videos maybe that show people how to do it. We're happy to help you with that if you need help. And give your clerks or the person who answers the phone a script about the procedures and how they're going to work so they know what to tell people. And then, like I said, share the links to how-to videos so anyone can log in and see how this stuff works. That's going to help out a lot. And then obviously, if you're going to hold a hearing this way, you're going to want a very detailed email going out to the parties about how you're going to do this, how they log in, here's the link, all that kind of stuff. So that's very important to think about. And be patient. Everyone right now is transitioning to this temporary environment that we have. People are going to be frustrated. You yourself might be frustrated, right? I know we kind of were. Our first day of working remotely, we had a whole lot of bumps in the road trying to figure out different things that we don't have to do when we're in our office. But it will all get figured out, and really just be positive and go forward and do what you can, and then everyone will follow. So that's a good point. Thanks for listening to my quick webinar today. Feel free to email me or call me if you have questions about the resources that are included in this presentation. I'm obviously not an IT professional, so I might not know everything. I might have to refer you to somewhere else, but I will help you find resources, and I'm happy to go through things. I've tried to figure out these things for myself so that I have some working knowledge of all the programs that we talked about today. But feel free to email me, or if you dial my extension at our main line, then my extension 205, that should come to me, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Have a great day.